Hey, brother. Good, you're going to get it on this stream.
Hey, what is it? Look at it.
This is Casey. This is the guy who did all the audio.
Oh, nice. How are you, man?
This is the guy who did all the music. That's Marty.
Hey, buddy, how are you, man? Good. That's great.
It's fucking awesome, mate. You can't really hear it in this place.
Yeah, of course.
But,
It's fantastic, fella. Wow. I'm just live and tasty at the moment.
Oh, you're live?
Chicago.
Yeah, good. Yeah, positive, good feedback.
Fantastic.
Got to, hang out with pinball royalty.
Yeah, I saw that. Loving it.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Linton Goldtree, Kensington Goldtree, are you in the building?
So this is the beef.
Da-da-da-da.
I don't know what it is. Why is there a cut? Did the metal used to bend down there? So what's with the cut in the top?
It's a disappearing diverter.
Oh, okay.
So in one of the modes for Highland Games, which is all up the top of playfield, you hit the right orbit, the ball diverter pops up.
Oh, so it is actually
feeds that left flipper.
So that's like a piece of steel that comes.
Yeah, it pops up. Yeah. Did I just hit that?
There we go.
Yeah. So that's what that is.
How did it go boxing and how did you get sitting it back up in Chicago?
Hello and welcome to the Melbourne Silverball League stream. This is David and we are live at Flipout 2019. And I'm here with Damian Hartin, who is the designer and producer, oh man, you really are a jack of all trades, of Celts. Tell us a little bit about it.
I am. How you going? Thanks for having me. Yeah, well, Celts. So I've got a company called Haggis Pinball, and this is our first offering for an Australian-made and manufactured pinball. First in 35 years, I think, since we've had a manufacturer
What was
in
the
Australia.
last one? Was it a Hankin game?
Yeah, Hankin, I believe. So yeah, it's been a bit of a journey over the last 12 months, which is when we first started. And I set out to get a whitewood to Texas in March, and then to get a pinball machine to Chicago, which we just managed to do and just got back from.
No, I was just at a panel where you were telling everyone about this game, and I am so impressed with how far you've managed to come in such a small amount of time. You've really been leaning on the community. How many people have you got involved in it in total?
So right now there is myself and my long-suffering wife, who's amazing. I've got a good friend of mine that's on code, Casey, the artist that's done all the music and call-outs. He's floating around behind me. Say hello, Casey.
Here's Casey.
Hey guys, how you doing?
And Casey's been, how long have you been working on the audio for?
Good. Probably 6 to 8 months, I reckon.
You reckon it's that long? I don't even think it's been that long, man. I think you've smashed it out of the park in about 4.
Yeah, it feels like about 2 years.
Yeah. And look, we've still got more stuff to do. I mean, there's 1 or 2 modes that we're still going to add a bit of music to, and there's a whole bunch of call-outs. I was saying before that there's not enough Aussie piss-taking going on, so there'll be a little bit more of have a bit of a laugh.
You got to get some local talent in there, getting some of the writing done.
And
so,
we've got an artist on board as well. So I suppose fundamentally it's 4 of us at the moment.
Right. And these will go up for sale on the 1st of November on your website.
Yeah, correct.
Supposedly.
So they're ready for order now. When we're sort of officially saying we'll begin manufacturing 1st of November.
So brilliant. We've got the machine here. We've got all the cameras signed up. Do you want to have a 2-person game?
Do it.
Show us the rules.
Go.
1. Oh, hold on. And
we've got 2 players.
Oh, we've got 3 players.
We've got 3. Now Casey's
in.
in.
Casey's in as well, which is really good because we need someone to hold the microphones. Now, who's going to go first? I think you should. You show us the rules. So, Casey, you did a lot of the sound work for this. Tell us what your thought process was going into it, and what kind of you liked working on the game. What were some of the challenges? What were your goals and aspirations while doing so?
Sure. Well, I came into the project relatively later on in the project. I had played a lot of pinball early on in the piece, growing up, obviously, as like most of us did, and then hadn't had much to do with it since the 80s. Nice one.
So we got our first ball.
Yeah, you don't want to buy a pinball based on my playability.
All right, well, I guess I'll walk up and I'll be in the middle of you two.
Yeah,
Two
cool.
people who worked on the game. Let's see how it goes. I've never touched this one. Maybe you can talk me through and see what I'm meant to be doing.
All right, so there's two main parts. When you first start the game, you get the choice to select a clan that you want to compete as, and the different clans give you different perks. So this is sort of a la Doctor Who. Some will give you an extra ball, some will give you better scoring points, etc. So once you've selected a clan, you start the game, and there's two main paths you can follow. One is to either compete in the Highland Games, or the other is to battle other clans. Yeah, that'll come. So to light Highland Games, you have to hit the stand-up targets that are on the left of the playfield, the ones that are flashing blue at the moment. To light Battle Clan mode, you have to hit the stand-up targets in front of the horseshoe, so those 4 white targets that are standing up. Oh, you can't see me? I'm stealing the cord now. Yeah, just drain the ball. Once, I'll run that over the top. Once you've got either or both of those things lit, you then hit the centre vuck to start one of those modes. Now, if you're in Highland Games, then there is a series of 4 different events you need to compete on, and they all make use of different parts of the playfield. So, for example, one of them is the Highland Dance, and these are all real events, so these actually are taken from the modern Highland Games. So for the Highland Fling, if you shoot a ball up the right orbit, there is a ball diverter that pops up at the top of the playfield to feed this upper left flipper. You then need to, that will feed, it's just a bit of a delay the first time you go in it. You then need to hit the 3 stand-up targets, which are basically the notes out of the bagpiper's bagpipes, and then hit the centre vuck to complete that mode. So each of the other 4 events is something similar. Tug of War uses these stand-up targets, caber toss is through the horseshoe in the middle, and the hammer throws through the orbits on the outside. So once you do all of those events, then you get to compete in the Highland Championships.
Have you personally managed to get to your own wizard mode yet?
No, not
no, okay.
Well, with the glass off, yes.
With the glass off, that doesn't count. So when you want to, if you were personally going to, in a tournament, approach this machine and go for a high score, what would you do?
I would ask Greg, who's the man that's done all the coding, because I don't even truly appreciate what the scoring is on it. There you got a ball recycle, I think. Greg likes junkyard, so he put a ball recycle in. Yeah, look, there's been, and this is the thing, the code, I suppose, at the moment is at about 60%, and there's a number of add-ons that we're doing, so there's this, if you're not in a mode, or even when you are in a mode, there's this beat the bore sort of feature where if you hit the left orbit and then hit it again within 15 seconds, you get points. Hit it again within 15 seconds, bigger points. You do that, I think, 3 times in a row within that 15-second time frame, you get a ball save. You do it 6 times, you get an extra ball.
So it really, depending on your play style and what features you like to hit, really does change the shape of the game and the direction that it's going.
No, not really. No, they're just sort of, I guess, additional things for you to be able to build a score.
Oh,
if you're good at orbits, you could arguably just orbit constantly. I'll give it over to Casey.
Well,
you lasted the longest in the game.
We got the producer.
That was actually my first show.
We've all got it now on stream for all eternity.
Yeah, this is actually the first time I've seen this live in action.
So
Fantastic. Sorry, mate.
No. So everything, I'm really just so surprised at how well everything seems to flow in this game. Like, as I say, it's not entirely finished and there's going to be some modifications coming up, but just looking at the game in front of you and you talking about your story about how far you've come in such a short period of time, I'll just to say again, I'm so impressed with what you managed to pull off. So what, are there going to be any more changes in the future before the final version? Or
Definitely. So at the moment, yeah. So definitely. So at the moment, we are quoting a 12-week build to order. So most of that is on the time it takes for the playfield to get manufactured and painted and cured and all those sorts of things. Who was up next? You were up next. And so that gives us a little bit of time just to finalise some of the small things I know I need to do, a couple of small brackets, and to continue to develop the code. I mean, the reality is we may still have some code updates to come out, and it'll be inevitable after release, because I'm sure once it gets out in the wild, people might notice a small, maybe a code imbalance or maybe something that's a little bit off. So we'll just tidy those things up. No, ball recycle, still going. But for as far as geometry, I suppose, and the general layout of the playfield goes, apart from 1 or 2 small ball hang-ups that were found in Chicago,
that was a bit of a house ball.
It's pretty much done.
All right.
You're up, Casey.
Well, we've got the sound designer, Casey, who's going to come up and have another ball. So we got some chat questions. Let's see what they have to say.
You're up, mate. I think you're winning.
Guys, if you have
No,
any
actually, I think
questions,
I'm
please feel
losing.
free to
No,
mention
I'm
them in the
winning.
chat.
That is stop both time. So you get to choose. So if you press the buttons, you get to cycle between the different clans.
Each time you have a different choice.
Each ball, yeah.
Each ball you have a different
and so
choice.
one of the
Right,
add-ons, so with this game, the way we're doing it is we're selling just the one model, and then you get the ability to customise it. So we don't lock you into a tier of machine. You could choose to paint all the metalwork as a particular colour. We'll have one of about half a dozen or so colours. It's all right, mate. You're free balling. Oh no, it's just no. There you go. But one of them is you can get your name in the game. So one of those clans that you cycle through can be your surname.
And would that include like call-outs and everything?
Yeah, so
Beautiful.
your name will be called out. We'll put your name on the back glass at the back. So you're actually effectively getting sort of a one-of-one
That's
custom
really,
machine.
that's a neat feature.
Yeah.
I mean, so you was talking in your panel about how you're going to kind of sell the basic game and then you have a lot of add-ons that you can add. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, so there's that get your name in the game. That's probably the biggest one. We've got this toy kit here, and there's a couple more that are missing at the moment, but the bore, so you've got to select now which one you want to do. That's Highland Fling, you got to get up the top left.
Oh, you got a free ball?
Still going.
You're getting some of those nice pinball reactions once you start getting invested in the game.
Do you want it?
I'm just going to hold this up to the speaker because it sounds really good.
Not a bad tune,
And
mate.
that's it. Yeah, it's a pretty good tune. Who wrote that?
This is for everybody watching. This is the first time Casey's actually played the machine, so he hasn't had a chance to actually hear it. Who's up, me?
I believe it's
Oh,
you.
it's me. Here you go, Case.
I'll hold this here. So we get to see your personal play. So tell us what you're doing.
Well, at the moment, I think I'm just trying to keep the ball alive. It's interesting. Greg keeps adding different functions to the code, so he's just added a feature there for the right orbit. So if you just continue to get the right orbit 4 times in a row, it'll start Haggis multi-ball, which is a good little feature.
Brilliant.
So I'll see if I can get that over there.
You get
Also, these stand-ups, if you light all 3 stand-ups, just in general play, that enables a random award if you just then have to get it in the top fuck to collect it.
And is
So I
that
think-
award collected in a scoop?
Yeah, correct. All right, let's try to get this orbit.
I want to see that ball diverter up in action.
Well, it only comes in certain modes, so...
I'm going to have to figure out which ones those are because
Yeah.
the idea of it really appeals to me. I like that kind of physical movement of the ball on the playfield.
So this play field in the centre as well, the reason we had this little screen here, it shows you what's up next. So at the moment, we have Battle Clans lit because it's flashing currently McGregor, and McGregor would be the next clan that I would fight if I get the centre buck.
So it's basically it's like your map to the game, telling you
Correct.
where exactly you are and what
Correct.
you're about to do.
And we'll add more directional things here that makes it a lot more obvious. But so if I hit these left stand-ups, you'll then see the Highland Games will start to light and tell you what the next event is. Right? The pops then randomise what the next event or the clan is to play against. So if I hit those, which I won't be able to get, as it did just then, if I can trap up, you'll see that it's now lit Stone Put Multi-Ball. That's one of the Highland Games events. So if I get that in that buck,
Which I was worried that the ball would be almost too difficult, but it's a very satisfying shot.
yeah. So now that because I've got both modes enabled, I get to choose which one I want. I can either go Highland Games, which I can see here would be Stone Put,
Yep.
or I can Battle Clans, which at the moment is McGregor, and McGregor's one of the easier ones.
So you wanna do that?
I get that choice. Well, I actually want a multi-ball, so if I go Highland Games,
There we go.
that'll start Stone Put multi-ball.
So what's the goal in Stone Putt Multi-Ball?
So
What
for
do you
Stone Put multi-ball, you want to basically get orbits and horseshoes, and then collect in the top buck.
Oh, we're getting a question from the chat. Do we have a price yet?
We do. The base model, well, we only sell one model, so the price is $7,050 Australian. And then there's the series of add-ons that you can get. So just looking at this short card here, it's $1,500 to get your name in the game, which is the custom call-outs, the custom back glass. You also get your tartan in part of the light scheme. So if you have a tartan, we can include it. If you don't, then you can pick one.
Nice.
It's the trim option, so you can get all of the metal work in one of, I think, about half a dozen colours. That is $500. I think our toy kit is also $500, and we will be releasing a topper, which I think is $500.
What are any ideas for the toppers that you can release?
So Hamish is moving.
Yeah. Yeah, so we tied in a new mode over here called Beat the Ball. So it makes more sense to him to be over there. And it's the same with the castle. So at the moment, when you beat one of the clans, there'll be an extra like a hurry up add-on. So you beat the clan, and then if you get up this right orbit, which is Storm the Gates where the castle is, it'll feed to that top flipper, get it in the vuck, and then you'll get an extra bonus. Now, tug of war is a bit of a hard one. They're all based on those stand-ups on the left-hand side of the playfield. The yellow lit insert is like where the rope is, or where the flag is rather, in the middle of the rope. So you need to hit the flashing green insert to move the rope towards you. If you hit the other side, then the rope goes towards the opposition. So the idea is to basically win that tug of war. And again, that's one of the events in the Highland Games. Gordon's a hard one. Gordon's a certain sequence for Battle Clan. You've got to get that left-hand horseshoe first. And the idea with Battle Clan is you want to hit the green flashing targets and not the left flashing targets. Yeah, we've got a small issue with that switch. And you'll see on the playfield that if you hit the red targets, the red power meter goes up as they're basically winning the war. When you hit your green target, your power meter goes up. So you're just trying to basically get all your green shots in before you time out or before you hit all the red shots. We also have another multi-ball tied to that centre horseshoe. Each time you run through that horseshoe, you light a letter in the word Celts. You do it 5 times, then it lights Celts multi-ball, which you collect in the upper vuck. And that's a 3-ball multi-ball, I think. Now, hammer throw is just orbits. So like if you were throwing the hammer in the game, you pick a direction to start with. You can either throw at the left orbit or the right orbit. Once you've done that, you then have to hit the same direction 3 times. And then once in the opposite direction to let it go.
So let's see where all our scores are lining up to. There we go. So what do we got?
I am winning just, I think. Player 1, top left. What was I, player 1?
Yes, you're player 1.
You were player 2, bottom left. But Casey's on ball 3.
All right, so Casey, it's all up to you now.
2.3 million is all you need. You can do it.
Or just under $500,000, or just over $500,000 to come second.
Yeah. Hey?
Would you like to go by yourself just to try some speed?
Oh, it's okay. You'll have to try again.
You'll have to try again.
All right.
I reckon that's a little bit too loud now. I haven't been looking at the chat. Were there any questions?
Having given this a play now, I'm really, really, really impressed with it.
Damian, can we do a deep dive
as I said, being made in
this week in
just
pinball? Absolutely,
over a year.
we can.
So I need to ask you, where did the theme come from?
Well, my mother's Scottish, so when I was in the position that I needed to come up with a theme quickly for Texas, and I was sort of racking my brain as to what I would have, because my mum's Scottish and Celts and Scottish Highland Games was all just very easy, so I thought it was subject matter I knew. I didn't have to research too much. I thought the whole Scottish Highlander and the accent lent itself to some good humour, and of course the Highland Games lent itself very well to a multi-mode event, so that was really good.
So hold on, we're just getting someone to end the stream. So we're really talking about the rule set here. How many multi-balls are in the game?
At the moment I think we have 4. Now Greg will correct me on this. We have 1 in the random awards, So that mode at the top, if you happen to light all 3 stand-ups and get in the VUC, you get a random award. One of those is a multi-ball. One of the events in Highland Games, Stone Put, is a multi-ball, 2-ball multi-ball. You have Celts multi-ball if you collect the 5 horseshoes. You also have a spinners, like a Super Pops and Super Spinners multi-ball. I have to check what the qualifier for that is. And then we have as well, if you manage to battle all the clans, beat all 4 of them, you then get into a Battle All Clans Wizard mode, which is a 4-ball multi-ball. So that's 1 for each clan.
Well, for this next game, I think some people want to hear the sound in the chat. What I might do is place one of these microphones a little closer to the speakers.
Sure.
And we can just have a chat with one of them while we play.
Yep. Digital pinball player, you must polish your spine. There's no 2 ways about it. The Highland Fling mode, yeah. So the Highland Fling is one of the events. I'm just trying to, and this again, digital pinball player. Highland Fling mode is one of the modes in the Highland Games path. And when you get that as a mode, you need to shoot the right-hand orbit, which will pop up a ball diverter at the top of the playfield, which then feeds that upper left flipper. Once you've got it in the upper playfield, you want to hit the 3 notes that are coming out of the bagpiper's bagpipe, so those 3 stand-ups, and then just get it into that upper VUC. Once you've done that, that completes the Highland Fling mode. That's actually a really good tune on that mode too. I'll just turn this down a little bit. Is that all right? I just thought it was distorting a little bit. Is that better? That's good? Okay. What other questions have we got?
Well, you jump on the game and I'll read you out some questions. How about that? So if anyone's got any questions, we've got the designer here and he's happy to answer them for you, or if everything being permitting. So at the moment we can all hear the music. We've got lovely music work going on here. Also very thematically appropriate. I really like that. Bonus multiplier on this game. Is there one?
Yeah, we have your typical upper lanes. So if you complete all 3 of those upper lanes, you'll get an increased bonus multiplier. And I have a feeling that the random awards as well will increase your bonus multiplier.
Do the bonuses get big? Do the bonuses get big?
Not Star Wars big.
Oh, okay. Let's not get crazy here.
No, that's right.
Yeah, it's me. My turn.
It's your turn?
Yeah, it's all good. Just let it drain.
Oh, well done. Good save. What else have we got here? Vertical. Yeah, what's a VUC? Yeah, vertical up kicker. That's it. Electronics. Short ball.
So, what kind of electronics are you using?
So the electronics are all the P3 rock system from Multimorphic. So it's a well-proven system. It's used currently by American Pinball and Spooky, supported out of Texas. So yeah, if there happen to be any problems with them, they can always be easily swapped out and replaced.
Really does move smoothly across that playfield, and the screen doesn't affect the ball movement at all. Sometimes on the AC/DC Volt editions, the ball will kind of get caught in the Perspex glass they've got there, but not here. It's just really flush. Not noticed any problems.
Yeah, we treated the LCD in the playfield pretty much the same as all the other inserts, and we actually ended up stepping up the thickness of the acrylic just to make sure that it was well and truly locked down and cleared. And yeah, it's been really good so far, no problems.
Unfortunate drain, but you're getting some really good gameplay. Ball recycled, there we go.
The way the ball recycle's working at the moment, on these late stand-up targets, if you drop all of those, it will light in the in lanes for ball recycle, get them through both in lanes, and then it lights the out lanes. So I think it's a similar similar thing to Junkyard.
An unfortunate drain out there to the right. Let's see if we have any more questions. Hello, Rodcom69. Thank you for the bits. Any more questions in the chat, please feel free to ask. We're going to move on to the qualifying tournaments later on, but at the moment we've just got this really rare opportunity to have a pre-release game on the stream, and the designer here, happy to talk about it. So here we go, I'm going to have a go and just hand the microphone off.
I'll get you something. That was Casey just needed to shoot out. So as I said, Casey did all the audio, all the soundtrack, all of the call-outs, and yeah, it's the first time he's actually seen the game played. So he's been a bit busy on things himself, and he's wrapped. So that's really good. That's it. You're written 3 letters in Celts. Oh, and I see a message here from Greg. I see a message there from Greg that he's actually online, so he can answer some of these coding questions. There's one more multi-ball, which is world champion. So when you work your way through the Highland events, once you do all 4 events, you start off in club. Start off in club level. Yeah, you want the right orbit. Yeah, it's distorting. No, we've lagged, I think. Where is it?
It's stuck up there. So one of the moments where we just have a slight stuck wall. Here we go.
No, we're good.
Just turning it down there with the rock and metal ballads are a little bit too much for the speakers right now. I'm really liking the music. It would be very easy to make generic kind of Scottish music, but it really does have some exciting guitar in there, some drums, really kind of gets upbeat. Someone asked in the chat, you don't have to answer this right now, did you get any orders at Expo?
No direct orders at Expo. There's a few people that were quite interested, so I think they're just waiting to see how it develops and potentially what I'm going to do about a distribution model.
And what's the price point going to be in US dollars for getting it over there?
The base model is $52.50 US, and then I think it's $1,000 for get your name in the game, and then I think it's $500 for the trim, $250 for the toy kit.
Righto. So right now you're battling Clan McGregor, and that's hitting the outer orbits, and then the flashing green lights are the target then. Once again, if anyone in the chat wishes to ask a question to the designer, we have got him here playing the game. This game is going to be released for pre-orders on the 1st of November, so look forward to it. I'm really impressed by it. Got that ball save going on. With the upper playfield being a lot like TNA in that it's got that upper sling I quite like. So if anyone here in the chat is in Melbourne, the real question is, why are you not at Flipout today? So Flipout has been a lot of fun. It's still going on today and tomorrow. We had tournament qualifying yesterday and a massive flip frenzy. It was brilliant. We had huge prize money going up, as well as Richard Rhodes bringing out the flip frenzy winner. We have qualifying going on for the rest of today and the finals for the main tournament, main Silverball League Championship. They're going to be held tomorrow and streamed live from the Sandbelt Hotel in Melbourne. An unfortunate out left drain.
Thank you. And unfortunately, Greg, if you're still watching, I think Alex GC'd the game, like his second game in, so you have to step up your act.
So we got a question asking how easy was it to adjust the center scoop?
Oh, it was actually, that was pretty simple, but I mean, I will be manufacturing a better solution. That's just literally had a bit of a twist added to it to just help feed out that right flipper. Part of the problem is these switch adjustments. Because of what I'm using currently, it's a sort of an old style fork switch, and sometimes it just cradles the ball a little bit off from center of the plunger, so when the plunger kicks up, it's almost like it's like a cue ball shot playing pool. If you're not in the center, it'll skew the ball off.
Okay, so at the moment it's shooting out to the right flipper?
That's what it should be doing,
and
yeah.
that's what it should be set to on all the games together.
I mean, as I said, I'll manufacture a proper buck that actually chops the ball down, has a couple of optos rather than a physical switch, and then just feeds the ball back out. And that lets me control that space a lot better than what's happening now, because the ball rattles around a little bit.
Now, you mentioned in your panel that you were thinking about possibly adding a subway between the two scoops.
Yeah,
Tell us about that and what your thought process behind that is.
I think initially when I first sort of got this game flipping with the upper playfield and everything sorted out, I was sometimes I was worried that the ball stayed up there a bit too much. And at that time I thought, well, and I think actually somebody at Texas made the suggestion, if you put a subway between those two, if they get it in that fuck, then you get to be able to choose whether or not you want to just feed it out to the bottom scoop and just let it come back out to the main play. But it seems to be at the moment that it's not really that much of a problem anymore.
Yeah, with the bumpers up there and with the flipper placement, it's pretty good.
And I think as we've developed code as well now, there's actually more incentive to want to stay up there, and you can actually, the game starts becoming a little bit more favourable to nudging and caressing the ball so that you can actually get it into that section. I made a frame.
So who was the artist on this? And tell us about how you got the art done, because it was an interesting way to get an artist. And how did you manage to meet up with the artist who was in the
Sam
UK,
Greenwood,
I believe?
yeah, a.k.a. Mo Still. So we did a video for a design challenge, which was, I think it was about April, May, might have been April or May this year, where we just literally did that. We just said, look, we're interested in getting just high-level concept sketches from anybody that may be interested in doing an art package or getting their art onto a pinball machine. We're a start-up company, so I could only afford to offer a certain amount of money. So they got, I think it was a $5,000 payment plus a pinball machine plus some royalties on each sale. So from that, we got about 30 submissions, and Sam was the winner in that regard. The line work that he sent through as his high-level concept sketch was just awesome. So,
well, I reckon we should put you on a single-player game.
Right.
We can ask you any questions we want during that time.
Let's do
so
that.
this is going to slowly wind up. If anyone has any last questions they wish to ask, get them in the chat now, and I'll feed them to you while you play.
Perfect, thank you.
Have a good one. Digital pinball player, I completely agree. Once the art got put in as well, it really made the whole thing come together. So if anyone has any more questions, these might be your last chance to ask. All right, going into the center scoop, choosing to battle the clan. Battle Clan McLaughlin, so is that green lights in the center horseshoe? So this mode is really about accuracy. As the green arrows will progress you, but the red targets, the stand-up targets, will progress your enemy clan. Unfortunate, you might get that recycled. No, unfortunate. So I got a question here. We've covered a little bit, but just want to go into more detail. How did you get the screen into the playfield without affecting the travel of the ball?
Well, we basically just treat it as the same as all the other inserts. So like all the other inserts, you effectively cut a hole out of the wood. Because I'm making all the inserts myself as well, then I cut basically the reverse of that out of a piece of acrylic and hammer it in place. So the cutout for the LCD was exactly the same as those, just bigger, and without any of the individual little facets in it to give it that diamond appearance. We used a thicker acrylic, so we used 6mm acrylic on the smaller inserts, 8mm acrylic on the playfield insert. When you put inserts in, they all sit slightly proud, about 0.5 millimetre proud, and then you just sand the whole lot off. So the whole lot sanded completely 100% flat, and then it's just treated like everything else.
So it's all sanded together. Well, there you go. I hope that answered your question, Geordie. All right, we're down to the hammer throw. So that was the orbit ramp, the orbit loop, the outer orbits. Oh, beautiful tilt, nudge save. Lining up the orbit nicely and just absolutely nailing it. So now that you've started that orbit, you have to repeat the same orbit. The other orbit is no longer lit. So your first shot is essentially choosing which side you want the mode on. Righto.
It's on a series of loops, so it starts with just one instrument, and then when you get one loop, it adds in like a bass, and then it adds in guitar, then it adds in drums. So it basically builds up that track as you go through.
So I got a question from the chat. Why is the right spinner on the right? Why is the spin on the right orbit so much further back than the spin on the left orbit?
It had to do with the way and the positioning I've got that shooter lane. So you can see there, we wanted it to be able to be fired as soon as you come into the play. And I had a problem. So this whole shooter lane has been a little bit of a bugbear of mine from a design perspective. And that really, it was just the level of that basically necessitated where I had it placed. That was the only thing.
So we've got a question, is that you say that it's acrylic on above the screen. Are there any concerns about ghosting or scratching or even it cracking towards the end of the of its run?
No, So no, that was part of the decision of going to the thickness of acrylic that we did because we felt confident that it wouldn't. Now, having said that, I can't obviously guarantee anything, so hopefully it won't. If it does, then we'll rectify the problem.
Now we have got a tug of war multi-bore, is it?
Yeah, it's managed to stack a multi-ball and a mode. Greg will probably give a little bit better insight on where it does that and doesn't. I'm not even sure how the stacking works on this.
And we've got a question, is a shaker motor an option?
Good question. It is now.
So there you go, Taz Tiger shaker. It is now.
That's right. I mean, the system comes with a 2.1, an 80-watt 2.1 system that's got a big subwoofer in it anyway. So when some of these tunes are running, you actually are feeling it through your hands a bit anyway.
I can vouch for that. One of the tracks earlier, I could feel the bass through the glass.
Yeah.
In fact, if I may, just putting my hand on the glass like this, I can still feel the bass coming through. I really, really like it. Do you have options for increasing the sound if you wanted, or custom the speakers to make them even louder?
Yeah, look, we haven't. It's not been listed as an individual item, but I mean, the beauty of being a small and boutique manufacturer is, if somebody wanted to say to me, I want to put this particular system, or I want to increase this or that, I'm absolutely open to that. We're all about customising.
Right, well, so we're in the hammer throw now. So which side do you, in the hammer throw mode, tend to lean to? Free ball.
I'd like the left orbit, ideally.
You like the left orbit, ideally. Do you find it a little bit easier to shoot?
I do.
Yeah, me too, personally.
If I can get it onto that flipper.
What's the center shot now lit for?
Because it's also got Battle Clan still currently lit as well. So you can see Battle Clan here is flashing McDonald.
So can you enter Battle Clan while in a mode?
While I'm in this mode, no.
With the big speakers, do you have any trouble with the glass rattling in the cabinet? I can answer this one. No, because this thing was set loud earlier, and it was not rattling at all. It was held really nice and tight. Would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's all very tight system, so it's all locked in.
Yeah, I can personally vouch for that. The game was absolutely blasting the sound out before, and yeah, it didn't seem to rattle at all. And hello, Peppers07. Welcome back. All right, straight into that center mode hole. Going for the stone part, which is in the upper playfield area. You're wanting to hit those 3 up targets, I believe?
No, stone put you want to basically do orbits and then collect in the upper buck.
So my mistake, you want to do orbits and then collect in the upper buck. We've got your foot 2. We've got a nasty double drain there, but we'll have a nice double ball save. Once again, thank you to everyone here who came down to Flipout Melbourne. Someone's moved that camera. So, we're going to wind it up soon. We might have another 2-person game, and then we'll wind up and go to qualifying. Once again, last chance to ask any more questions. The upper stand-ups are for the adder ball. It's so useful to have the programmer of the machine in chat. So where is...
Greg's answering all the questions.
Yeah, so there we go. Greg can answer some of your questions. So at the moment, this is your really your last opportunity now to ask a question. We have got the designer here, we got the producer here, we did have the sound guy, I believe he's just headed off, and we have the programmer in chat. So please ask as many questions as you can. I mean, I'm assuming you're happy to answer it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So we're actually playing a 2-player game.
I'll just join in.
Ball 2, just jump in.
Sweet. I guess I'll take that 13 million start.
That'd be right. It's probably the best game I've ever played.
You mean the best game I've ever played?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, upper stand-ups for an adder ball. There you go. I didn't know that, Greg. Is there a chance anyone who can't make Flipout could play Celts in Melbourne? Yes. So just give me a couple of weeks or so. I need to the new factory where we're manufacturing them all is just a little bit of a bomb. It's like a bomb site at the moment because of all the craziness that was going on. That will be set up as our showroom. So I plan to have at least a couple of Celts there ready to play. We're also talking with some of the chaps from. Whilst we were in Chicago, who recently hooked up a Batman 66 with Jack Danger so that you could play it over the internet. So those boys are actually planning to come out to Melbourne, and we are going to put a Celts on the internet. So I know that's not the same thing as coming down, but we'll keep you posted on that as well, because at least you could, while you're busy working, just hook up the website and play a quick game of Celts. You do some testing for us on the one that's in the showroom. So short answer, yes, just give me a little bit of time and I'll let everybody know once the factory's available for people to wander in and have a game.
You're up. Yeah, so that might be the best game I've ever done. I managed to get nearly 13 million points. Yeah, you got to do a bit better to try and catch up with that.
I can see. Hey, Greg, I think that Wi-Fi is still trying to come on this NUC.
Now that's a novel idea. Geordie says he would pay $2 a game to play a real pinball machine over the internet. So what we can, if he donates $2, what we'll do is I'll stand in front of the pinball machine, and he'll stand on the other. You can stand on the other side.
No, I was saying
And then he'll just type in left, right, left, right.
Did you see that Batman 66 that Jack Danger got online?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so there's a couple of guys out of Finland who did that. They set it up so you could actually, the left and right control button on your keyboard would flip the actual flippers on the Batman 66.
That's beautiful.
Those boys are going to come out to Australia soon, and we're going to set up a Celts to do that. So you'll be able to play a real Celts via the internet on your computer.
I guess you lose a bit of the nudging and sensation, but it is a very novel idea. I do like it.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun. It's a good way to get a bit of an experience.
I've been hearing a lot about fun modifications for kind of fun tournaments, and the weirdest one I've heard was the modification where your tilt bob was attached to a helmet that you wore on your head, so you weren't able to move your head.
Was that the Pinball Life party, was it?
I think it was, and any Celt versions of the helmet, perhaps the tilt helmet?
Oh, I'm sure we could think about it. Yeah, why not?
All right, you get doubles your score if you wear the tilt helmet. Right, well, I think that's going to wrap up the stream that we have here for the moment. We might just leave this on and just allow someone to walk up and have a go, but we're probably going to head over to qualifying soon. In 30 minutes, we're going to head over to qualifying. So thank you all for joining us. We will be back with you very, very soon. Thank you so much, Damian Hartin, for joining us. Thank you to the programmer and to the artist and to the sound guy. Do anyone else you want to thank personally?
Oh, just the whole crew. I mean, everybody's been helpful. Marty's come and flip it and help. Ryan's come and flipped it and help. We've had so many people stop past and just give a bit of feedback and advice. So this really, from my perspective, is a game for the community. That's your high score. You better put your name in.
Yeah, it's totally my high score. I will put my name in because I really like this machine. This is the least legitimate high score I've ever achieved. There we go. And I am high score number 2. Congratulations to me.
Just a quick response to Beer Gut there. Yeah, that's the cool thing because the latency between here and America is shocking. But if we're local in Australia, I'm hoping it's going to be good. So that's why they're going to fly out and do it here. So anyone wants to play it in America, it's going to be terrible. But us Aussies will be set, mate.
So is this going to be here for the next 2 days?
Yes, it will be here. So if you're local, come down. If you're local, come down and play it. It'll be here.
So there you go. Come on down to Flipout 2019. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back in about half an hour for the qualifying matches. We're really starting to get those scores up there on all the 8 qualifying machines. Are you going to have a go?
I do. I've got to get onto that real soon, actually.
Yeah, so I think towards the end of the day, some of those queues are going to jump up. It might catch people off guard. We hopefully won't have a problem like we did last year with Terminator 3, where 2-hour queue with 1 hour left in the tournament.
Yeah, that was me. I remember that. I remember that. I got stuck in that queue.
Yeah, I got mine in on the first day. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us and have a great day. Go play some pinball if you can, and if not, have a beautiful day anyway. Go climb a tree. Enjoy yourself.